Turning you wrong, you want a bone, but you gon' eat it. Blessing my song, you got the grip, hitting them tones, shaking that ass, feeling this song. No, you ain't trapped, leave me alone. Hurting my ass, mean that it's long. Give me your back, taking your soul, squeezing you sing, gripping that tongue. Want you a slice of this cake, baby? You like the way that it tastes, baby? Bet that I'll leave out West Sprung if we keep it 100, cause that's what you need, baby. Pretty when you beg and plead, baby. Play with me, I'll make you bleed, baby. Got your ass screaming, I please. You cursing at me, they might gotta bleed, baby. You ain't never been to heaven, you a demon, right? If you ever get the chance, I get the demon right. In exchange for the cake or the sweetest pie. Double it, pay you back, even need the pie. If I'm gripping on this phone and it's screaming, right? When I wake up in the morning, can I squeeze it tight? Only asking, I don't know if you the cheesy type. All I know about my bread, I'm the cheesy type. Turning you wrong, you want a bone, but you gon' eat it. Blessing my song, you got the grip, hitting them tones, shaking that ass, feeling this song. No, you ain't trapped, leave me alone. Hurting my ass, mean that it's long. Give me your back, taking your soul, squeezing you sing, gripping that tongue. Think I'm playing? Man, my niggas love to smell a gun smoke. Hurry up, get gone. Once it's on, they're gripping on that tone. Say your prayers, leaving home. Tough love to smell a gun smoke. Turning back home, off and gone, running from them folks. 25 is my new thing. Sipping wine off that pink drink. Red wine when I switch it up. Watch you niggas tweak off them pink things. Rip tones, they on standby. Can't move, nigga, dumb high. Cracked out, leaning bad though. It's a matter of time before one die. 12 deep, check the spreadsheet. Spread you thin, scientists. You ain't get it, said I spread you thin. Ain't no peanut butter, that's a bad sheet. Bird bitch, hit a crumb pie. You ain't dick, need a crumb pie.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Kevin, back at it with another reaction video. We're gonna jump straight into it. This one is evil girlfriend realizes cops found her disturbing secret. Ooh. All right.
Like I said before, they're taking care of him. They're doing what they got to do with him, all right?
Tyler's not alive? No.
This is the moment Brittany Holbrook learns her boyfriend is dead. But what she doesn't realize is that within hours, investigators will start picking apart her story piece by piece.
I'm not a murderer. I would never kill him. I love him so much.
I heard a scream. You heard a scream? I didn't see it. I don't know what happened, but I heard him say that they shot me back.
In the early hours of June 17th, 2023, at around 3 a.m., deputies from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office respond to a disturbing 911 call made by 44-year-old Jordan Kinn to report a shooting at his house in Big Coppitt Key, Florida. As the officer arrived at the scene, nothing could have prepared her for what was waiting for her behind the door.
The sheriff's office.
I'm still trying to put that out.
I dare you to use our completely free
Already,
Shopify AI.
Already, my nigga. The fuck?
In front of her lay 29-year-old Tyler Newlich, bleeding out on the kitchen floor, struggling for his life. Beside him sat his hysterical girlfriend, Brittany, trembling as she pressed her hands over his wound, desperate to keep him alive. He had been shot, and from the location of the wound, officers quickly realized that this wasn't self-inflicted. This was attempted murder. Inside the house, there were no signs of forced entry. Even the dogs were calm. To detectives, that detail said more than any broken lock ever could. Whoever did this wasn't a stranger. They were someone Tyler trusted. But who could commit such a harrowing act against someone they knew? A search of the scene revealed one of the case's most critical pieces of evidence, the firearm used to shoot Tyler.
That's why I haven't checked yet. I was waiting to make sure somebody else was here first. Now it's not. Yeah, there is one missing from the magazine.
This missing bullet and the firearm made the officers realize that this was a planned shooting, one carried out with intent, not impulse. But the motive behind this brutal shooting will turn out to be far darker than anything they find at the scene. For now, their priority was keeping Tyler alive. If he didn't make it, the case would shift from an assault to a homicide. As paramedics worked to stabilize him for transport, another deputy stepped outside to speak with the original 911 caller, Tyler's roommate, Jordan, who walked the officer through the night, explaining how he'd rushed over after hearing Brittany scream.
Probably like 3 minutes before I called 911, I heard a scream and her walking down the hallway and say, "Jordan, my name." And they got up out of bed. I'd been asleep maybe 2 hours, but knew something was wrong. I came out in the living room and saw Tyler was incoherent, bleeding from somewhere in his back.
Okay.
I don't know from what or whatnot, but I know if it was gun, I would have heard it. Like, I don't know what exactly how it happened.
Who owns that gun?
I don't, one of those, I'm pretty sure Tyler.
You pretty sure he does?
Yes. I know he usually always has. I had the
Was it the wife?
TV on quite quietly and half asleep, but I think I would have heard something unusual.
Yeah.
I'm a fisherman and live on a boat half the year. I've heard some weird noises.
Since he arrived after the gunshot was fired, officers turned their attention to Brittany, the only person who had been there before him. They needed to know if she'd seen anything that could help them understand what really happened that night.
You don't know?
I went to sleep. I don't know.
Why don't you go take a seat over there?
I went to sleep.
You went to sleep? Okay, and then you woke up?
I woke up.
Okay, and what did you see? This? Just him laying on the floor? Waiting? Okay.
Clearly distressed, Brittany struggled to recall what had happened that night. But something about her behavior gave the officer an uneasy feeling, as if she was holding something back. Before the officer could press her further, a call came in from the hospital. Tyler had succumbed to his injuries. From that moment, the case shifts. What began as an assault is now a cold-blooded murder investigation. With only 2 people present at the scene, Brittany and Jordan both became prime suspects. Without wasting another second, detectives began their interrogation with Jordan, unaware that Tyler had already left behind the clue that would solve his case. After reading him his rights, detectives began questioning Jordan about the day of this heinous crime.
So when you got home last night, were they downstairs already?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And they were already drinking?
She was, he wasn't.
How was the mood when you
Great. It was great. Everybody was getting along fine. I felt like it was a normal good night, you know?
You were downstairs drinking until what time about?
I'd say around 10:30ish was my guess. And I went and watched a couple episodes of TV, and I was pretty well asleep when I heard her screaming, and she's the one who woke me up.
It's only after Jordan goes to bed that the sound of Brittany's scream pulls him from his room. And it's then that Tyler tells him what really happened.
I saw a pistol. I don't even know what happened. I just saw a lot of blood. But I did see a gun sitting there in the holster, which I'm pretty sure was hers. I never heard the shot. If that's what happened, I didn't get woken up by that. I got woken up by her yelling. And instantly I tried to look at him in the face, and that's when I called 911. I didn't know what happened to him. The little bit I got out of him, I didn't see it. I don't know what happened, but I heard him say that bitch shot me in the back. Mumbled it.
Moreover, Jordan recalls a fight between Brittany and Tyler, one that turned unusually aggressive, ending with phone
It
being
is crazy. He said that shot me in the back.
slammed against the walls. He quickly assures detectives that it only happened once and it wasn't anything serious. After finishing the interview, detectives rule him out as a suspect. His timeline checks out, and there's no sign of a motive to harm Tyler. Still, his account leaves them with one clear direction. They start with the only other person inside that house when Tyler was shot, his girlfriend, Brittany Holbrook. As detectives sit down to question her, they have no idea that by the end of it, they'll uncover a truth far darker than anyone imagined.
Sorry, after we play this, I was asking one question. That's why we're all here. Okay.
If you're a beginner, this will get you making music fast. Creator is a desktop app that makes music creation fast and easy. Here's where you start. 4 categories of sounds to choose from. Just click around and choose what you like. Okay. This one, I want to try something from a different genre. Let's go with jazz.
Live?
How long have you known?
2 years.
Where did you guys meet?
We were roommates.
Roommates? You guys met when you were roommates, or you're still roommates right now?
We met when we were roommates.
What do you do for work?
You should have got a divorce. Y'all shouldn't even got together. Y'all was roommates. That's like having a fling at your job site. You don't fuck with the bag.
I manage a paddle hut, like paddleboard, kayak rental location out of the capital.
As the conversation goes on, detectives ease into small talk, all part of building rapport before getting to what really matters. But soon, their questions shift toward the night of the shooting, hoping to see if her story lines up with Jordan's.
What time did you get home from work?
Let's see, I went to the grocery store, I went to Walgreens, so maybe like 5:30.
When you got home, who else was home?
Tyler got home like about 5 minutes after.
Okay. You guys were all just hanging out upstairs?
Tyler and I, we got home, did that for a while upstairs.
Okay. And Jordan was hanging with you guys too?
Eventually.
You guys hanging out? You guys drinking? How much you guys normally drink?
Not a lot actually.
That's kind of normal for you guys? How much do you think you drank last night?
A lot.
Like 5 or 6 beers, like 2 bottles of rum? I don't know if it's a lot.
A lot. Like, I don't know. I drank probably 4 seltzers, and then Tyler and Jordan went to the store and came back with beers, and so I can't tell you how many of those I had, really. I don't know, because they were kind of all on the table, and then I threw them all in the box.
When you guys were drinking down here or upstairs in the living room?
Yeah, we were drinking downstairs.
Okay.
Brittany continues walking the detective through her night. According to her, the 3 of them hung out until around midnight before she finally went to bed, with Tyler and Jordan following soon after.
What's the next thing that you remember?
Holding Tyler.
What?
Holding Tyler.
Holding Tyler? Where were you at?
In the kitchen.
Do you remember how you got to the kitchen? So you laid down in bed with you, Tyler, and the dogs, and then the next thing that you remember, you're in the kitchen. Okay. And where was Tyler?
Lying
Down. Okay. Do you remember how he was laying?
I was holding him.
Where was he bleeding from? Okay. What was he saying?
Nothing.
Was he conscious? Do you see him still there?
The detective slowly steers the conversation toward Tyler's murder, pressing gently at first, trying to confirm his final words.
Did he mention anything?
First of all, why didn't they do the powder residue, the gunpowder residue first?
Did they make any statements to anybody?
Somebody had gun residue on it.
Did you walk away from Tyler at any point before the police showed up? Or were you holding out to him the whole time?
I,
But Brittany insists she didn't hear anything. Each denial only widens the gaps in her story, and the detective can tell she's holding something back. So he changes tactics, using a bit of psychological pressure, a small trick meant to unsettle her and see how she reacts.
Has there ever been any history of domestic violence between you guys?
like I said, we've had our like fights. And
Fights like arguing, yelling, and screaming back and forth?
I mean, that's the extent.
Are there any punches, pushes? No? Nothing physical?
Next, he brings up Jordan's statement, confronting Brittany directly to see if she'll finally break.
Jordan is saying that he remembers Tyler was on the ground, you were behind him. And Tyler made the statement, call 911, she just shot me. You remember that? Is there any reason why you might have said that? You think that's something that's possible?
But she doesn't. Instead, Brittany doubles down, insisting that she loved Tyler and that she could never
I ain't do it. I ain't do that shit. FBI, open up.
hurt him.
Would you be willing to consent to us taking a swab of your hands?
I don't think so. I have blood all over my hands. I don't know. I have Tyler's blood all over me.
The turning point comes when detectives ask Brittany for her fingerprints. The moment they bring it up, her demeanor changes. She looks anxious, deflects the question, and insists her prints will not show up because she has Tyler's blood on her. But to detectives, it sounds like fear of being caught, so they decide to leave her alone for a while, hoping the silence might do what their questions couldn't.
I haven't been to the.
What about the fucking what about the gunpowder residue? That don't make no sense. If they both were in the home, they were supposed to get tested.
Finally starts talking. Only this isn't the confession they were expecting. It's something darker, a twisted version of events that leaves the detectives with more questions than answers.
I have no idea. I just don't know. I just know that I remember not being able to breathe, and he was like crushing my esophagus.
All right. And where was he?
Like on his side of the bed, but like up. And I remember him screaming really loud. And he just kept doing it. He did it more than once. And like I tried to get away and go out the room, and he had followed me and pinned me up against that wall.
Which wall is this?
In my bedroom.
As she talks, Brittany shifts the focus away from the shooting and starts talking about her past, mentioning how her father once choked her, a detail she uses to portray herself as the victim, someone who only acted out of fear and self-defense.
And like my dad did this to me when I was little, and I think it made me freak out a little bit, and probably I started swinging, I don't know, but he held me up by my throat.
You say held you up like off the ground?
Yeah, like.
Okay.
I don't know why. We had everything.
How did you escape?
I don't know.
Okay. It seems like you're describing a relatively violent encounter there.
Yeah.
Was there a fight at that point? Were you throwing punches and scratches? I mean, if someone's strangling me, I'm fighting as hard as I can to get away from that, right?
Yeah, I did, because he pinned me up against the wall.
Okay.
It's my reaction. My dad did that to me when I was young, and it's fucking made me PTSD. And I split his eyebrow. Like, just, what are you gonna do? It was the same thing for me. It brought me back to my childhood, and I lost my mind. I'm sure I was swinging and scratching, whatever the fuck.
Still trying to fill the gaps in her story, detectives realize they have no choice but to make Brittany believe they're on her side. After all, besides Jordan, she's the only witness and the last person Tyler ever saw alive. So they play along, pretending to trust her version of events and use the moment to quietly turn up the pressure.
I mean, if you're at the point where you're fighting to survive, anything goes.
It was like, we didn't even have any arguments. I think he got up and used the restroom and then came back and then was like a different person. Because we were cuddling and really comfortable and going to bed and like loving each other.
Oh, no.
Like normal. And came back from the
Did the gunpowder residue test the night of the shooting. Not only that,
restroom. And fucking, I don't even know. He said something and I was like, what? And he just snapped.
Well, at that point, it's perfectly understandable. Someone reaches over their nightstand and grabs that self-defense gun that they have.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a murderer. I would never kill him. I love him so much.
Well, it seems at this point you're trying to describe protecting yourself.
I don't know. I wish I knew.
I'm trying.
How can she be protecting herself when she shot this man in his back? That don't make sense, man.
What happened? So we can get a full story of how you got away from her, and that we can tell everybody else that this is not what she was planning on doing. She wasn't sitting there all night plotting this. If it's you versus him, it was him versus me in that situation. I know what I'm doing, especially if that gun is right there on the nightstand. I'm surviving.
I don't know what happened. I could like make up a story that I feel like I would do. I would go out of the room to get away from him. What happened after that? I don't know. I don't even remember leaving the room. Really.
She isn't remorseful or afraid of what she's done. Brittany tries to explain away her inconsistent story, blaming her blurred memory on being drunk that night. But with no clear account of what really happened and too many gaps to ignore, detectives have no choice but to place her under arrest on suspicion of murder. At first, Brittany probably thought that saying less would help keep her out of trouble. But in reality, her silence only gave investigators more room to work with and more angles to uncover the truth she left behind. Since her version of events ended with a vague claim of self-defense, detectives had to widen their scope. They began reaching out to people close to the couple, hoping someone could shed light on what Brittany was hiding. As investigators started interviewing them, one by one, a darker picture of Brittany Holbrook began to emerge, one that revealed she wasn't the person she made herself out to be. Almost everyone mentions Brittany's dangerous relationship with alcohol, how it often turned her aggressive and sometimes even violent toward Tyler. One story in particular stood out to the detective, an incident at a friend's birthday party where everyone saw the drunk side of Brittany.
I do know that they were having issues that week, about her drinking. We all thought, because her ex-boyfriend before Tyler, he drinks. So we thought that he brought out the worst in Brittany from drinking, but it was really just her drinking in general that brought out the worst in her.
I know a couple of
I don't know if that helps at all, or if that explains her a little bit better, or what the case is with that. But
Could you tell me a little bit more about this when you came down in February and you all ended up with blood on your shirts?
that was a very strange situation.
That night, aside from the birthday celebration, Tyler's friends had organized a small get-together meant to reunite him with an old friend and former roommate who also happened to be Brittany's ex-boyfriend. The goal was simple, to help them put the past behind and finally move on. And for a while, everything seemed to be going according to plan, until Brittany walked in.
They walk in. When Brittany sees Jaffe, she had a blank look on her face. Tyler sees Jaffe. He's smiling. Jaffe's smiling. I was right there. They hugged each other. And it was like kind of awesome that, you know, that they were going to be friends again. You know what I mean? They could let this go past them.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't Brittany's plan.
Her ex-lover? What?
And, you know, Brittany was hoping that there was going to be some sort of scuffle or drama involved in this situation. And she got mad at Tyler for not doing anything about Jaffe being there. And Tyler obviously was like, what are you talking about? This was neutral. And I told you that we were coming down here and it was all going to be all right. And I never saw this side of Brittany. After they heard what happened, they were all like, you know, we kind of aren't surprised by this situation because she was so nuts that night. But over at American Rock Bar, she was like scratching and slapping Tyler, and everybody felt very uncomfortable about the situation. Later on in the night, they're like, Phil, you have blood on your shirt. And then I guess Tyler had the blood on his shirt. And my other buddy, Eric, they said had the blood on his shirt too. And then they were making a joke and they were calling her a witch. Like, oh, the witch, she put blood on your guys' shirt. We didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? I didn't at least. But now we're kind of, you know, as we talk about it more, we're like, wow, you know, like that 100% could have been her doing that.
But for Tyler, the night was far from over.
She broke a bunch of stuff in the house. She wrecked the house, and she beat Tyler up pretty bad that night. There's quite a few stories about her attacking him, and she was an attacker. And clearly that night, you know, of the blood being, you know, at Tyler's bed and the broken beer bottle, and not only one broken beer bottle, that room was full of broken glass when everybody had to go clean it up. That's when everybody knew that there seriously was a problem going on.
Shit dangerous. Dangerous game to be playing. Because you could get these fists. No cap.
Turned violent toward Tyler. In fact, friends recalled multiple incidents, including one at a wedding where she lashed out at him in front of everyone.
Yeah, I've heard about this wedding. It's popped up a couple of times. What can you tell me about what went on there?
After, you know, the rehearsal dinner, everything was good. We had dinner. You know, they start drinking a little bit. She's really, like, belligerent. And we were all sitting by the pool having a good time. It was really, like, the first time I actually got to meet her and, like, you know, talk to her. And she was so drunk because her dad has, like, some hunting property and stuff up there. And I could have sworn she told me that, oh, my dad's selling the property. And my buddy, like, a week or two before, he was all excited to go hunting. My buddy, meaning Tyler, sorry.
Huh?
And, you know, I misunderstood her. Anyways, I'm driving them home because I, you know, didn't drink at all. We had to drive back to his house. And I was talking to him in the front seat. She's passed out in the back seat. And I said, oh, Tyler, that sucks. Her dad's selling the property. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, I was talking to her at the pool. She said her dad's selling the property. And he says, he reaches in the back seat and says, hey, babe, is your dad selling the property? And without hesitation, she throws a fucking left-hand hook and punches him in the face. And she says, don't ever fucking talk about my dad. And she has no idea.
I'm throwing these bitches. I don't care who the fuck you is. Call your granny. She gonna get struck. Don't put your hands on me. Especially when I ain't do shit to you. I can't even talk. That's crazy.
Yeah, what we're talking about, you know, we're not talking bad about the dad. It was like, what the fuck? I got scared because I'm doing 55 mile an hour and she's throwing hooks. I thought she was going to punch me. Like, Jesus Christ.
But during the investigation, one name stood out. Marissa, the girlfriend of one of Tyler's close friends. She had seen a side of Brittany that went far beyond drunken outbursts, a side that hinted at something much more horrific.
So we were at Hogfish and she was talking about her ex-boyfriend, which is a guy that I know. It was Chris Jaffe. She was talking about him and very aggressively and very angrily and talking about their relationship, how much she hated him, how she like wanted to kill him and saying all this crazy stuff.
Stuff about Chris. What kind of crazy things was she saying?
She said that they would get in physical fights and that they would grab each other's eyeballs. And she showed me like with her thumb and her.
That's crazy. Because everybody's saying Chris be getting his ass whooped and he don't do shit. How they get into physical altercations together, grabbing each other up? Come on now.
Like the eyeball squeezing. She said that she told me she had stabbed him one time. And I was like, you stabbed him or like you wanted to stab him? And she was like, oh no. She's like, and next time I'll stab him. She said that she would do it like, she was doing the stabbing like with her arm. This was at Hogfish Bar.
It's cursed for you, shawty. That's fucked up that you thinking that way. That's crazy.
She was doing like the jabbing, stabbing motion, and she was like, I would go, like in and I would go all the way up like to his neck is what she said. I'm trying to think of the exact words, but she was gonna, she's like, I'd go all the way up and like kill him. And I just remember thinking, you're being so psychotic and aggressive about this. You haven't even dated him in over a year.
Her account was later backed up by several of Tyler's friends, each confirming her fantasy of killing her ex-boyfriend.
I know that Marissa went to dinner a few nights before this happened, or out for drinks with Brittany. And that's where there was a conversation about her wanting to do weird, gruesome stuff to Chris Jaffe, her ex-boyfriend, which Marissa found disturbing and kind of called Tyler and asked them to come pick them up as she was uncomfortable.
It didn't take long for investigators to realize that what his friends described may have been exactly what happened that night. Only this time, it went too far. Around the same time, the autopsy results came in, confirming their worst suspicions. Tyler's body showed clear signs of prolonged physical abuse, multiple injuries to his head and neck, the kind that pointed to a violent struggle, not self-defense. And the contrast was telling. Brittany had no defensive wounds, not even around her neck, just bruising on her knuckles, consistent with someone who had been throwing punches, not blocking them. To detectives, it was no longer a question of what happened. It was a matter of proving that Brittany Holbrook had finally done what everyone feared she was capable of. In the end, Brittany's charge was upgraded from suspicion of murder to second-degree murder with a firearm. She stood trial in February 2025, where a jury found her guilty, and she was sentenced to 40 years in state prison, including a mandatory minimum of 25 years without the possibility of early release for good behavior.